All right, so this next activity is called Geology and Resource Practice, and it's going to take you again 2 days to work on this, two and a half days. You have two pictures here. This first picture is what an area looks from above, and all these different areas, if you notice, they're represented by like different drawings or symbols. Like these triangles represent something, these dots represent something, these bricks represent something, this dark line represents something, these gray areas represent something different, and these lines also too. Okay, and he said, well, fractures says right there, and this right here says fault right here. Okay, all right. So, and this right here, the second picture represents what the area looks like from the side. Like if there was an earthquake and you're able to see this area like exposed into the air, this is what it would look like. Or if we were to cut the earth in half, the crust in half, then you will be able to see this. For example, oh, and this right here is a legend. For example, you have organic swamp material represented by the dark lines. So that's organic swamp material. That line right here is organic swamp material. And then your intrusive rocks, okay? And right here by the gray, your loosely valley fill right here on the surface, right here. That's the loosely valley fill. That's what it looks like from above, right? Then you have your evaporated lake sediments down here, but we don't have any evaporated lake sediments here because it's underground. Yeah, all right, sandstone. So you have sandstone in here, but we don't, oh, sandstone is right here, right, on the side. Then you have some shale. We have shale here by those dashed lines, but we don't have shale here. I wonder if there's no shale here, but there's shale here. I wonder why. Oh yeah, because it's underground as well. All right, and then there's limestone, right? Those bricks. So limestone, 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 and then there's your fault line, all that stuff. Okay, so it says the images show a geologic map of a certain area. That's the top image, and a cutaway into the ground to show what the rocks are below the surface. Okay, so that's the bottom image, this one right here. Follow the instructions. Okay, so first thing, you gotta have to answer this question: what natural resources are found in this area? You're gonna have to make a list. All right, so for example, in the limestone area, you're gonna have to open this link and find which natural resources are found in the limestone area, in the limestone deposit. Right, so you can, there you go, like composed mostly of the mineral calcite. There you go. So calcite would be a natural resource right there. Okay. Now, don't write this. It used to make paper, plastic. This is not paper, plastic, glass, paint, steel, cement. These are not natural resources. These are products. So they're not the resources. This is what we use, what we make with the calcite. Okay, so don't write that. All right, same thing for shale. You're gonna open shale, and same thing is gonna give you, right, composed of clay particles. So there you go. Other minerals present in shale are quartz, mica, pyrite, and organic matter. So you're gonna have to write those here. Same thing for sandstone. Same thing for all the other ones. Okay, you're gonna have to make a list of natural resources or minerals found in that deposit. Okay. Now limestone is also technically a natural resource, but I want the specific ones. All right, oil and gas. Okay, are on both of the geologic map and in the cutaway image, label the areas that are likely to contain oil and gas. Okay, so from all these resources, now that you have a list, you're gonna look. Now you have your data right here. After you're done, it's gonna take you a while. It's gonna take you about like 20-25 minutes. You're gonna have to do oil and gas, right? And label the areas that likely to contain oil and gas. So you're gonna have to do that, and then explain what patterns you observe from this. Okay, metals, same thing. Which of these ones contain metals, and what are the patterns? Coal, salt. Which one of all of these contain coal and salt, and what are the patterns? And then just answer that. That's gonna take you like less time, but this is where you're gonna spend most of your time in, and then everything else you're gonna have to look back and forth on your data to make some comparisons. And then level 4 is your application. Okay, describe where you might look for water resources in this area. So if you were to be here and you're like, oh, there's water, right? What would the area look around you would look like? Why would you look for water instead of here instead of somewhere else? Okay. Describe what you might look for geological building materials in this area. So we didn't talk too much. If you notice, we haven't talked much about building materials. So if we had building materials, where in these areas we'll find building materials? I'll give you a clue. Limestone, we in the last activity, we said that limestone would be a building material, right? So what other areas will we find building materials? You can also look at your old assignment, your past assignment, where you have the list of, let me see, there you go, building materials, limestone, sand, clay, building stone, and gravel. Those are your building materials. And then why do we say that natural resources are distributed unevenly? I have explained this in every video before, and you also have done activities that represent this concept, distributed unevenly. We've talked about this. I've talked about this in every video, and yeah, that's it. You gotta make sure that you look at your all assignments for some of these parts.